Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second to ask that if you gain any valuable insight from this episode, that you please share and leave a review. We truly appreciate all the support and would love your help to spread the word. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back to the Jeff Fenster Show for another segment of Lessons Learned, where we're going to recap the top 3 takeaways from Jimmy Rex on real estate investing the right way. Number 1, real estate is simple, but it's not easy.
The difference between successful and unsuccessful people is successful people merely have learned to do the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. And hard work is, he would always say, real estate is simple, it's not easy. He said there's 3 things you have to do. Number 1, learn exactly what to do, exactly what to say. 2, get really good at doing it. Learn exactly how to say it the right way, even the tone, NLP, all that stuff, right? He said, and then the 3rd thing is just do it all day. Yep. That's literally that simple. And then I went on, to become the number 1 agent in Utah for a decade and over was getting all these different national awards and things. And I literally, that was all it was. It was like I learned exactly what to say. I memorized scripts. Then I learned how to say them so it didn't sound like a script. And I just learned from the best people in the country. I'd literally go fly out and spend time with them, just like I do with coming here in San Diego and spending time with people that are just much more advanced than I am. I would just copy all the best stuff I learned. And then I just did it all day. I was relentlessly working to be the best. And, that's how I built it.
Number 2, selling the experience.
You have to have the right people around you. That first key hire, that second key hire. I got a real estate partner right now, so I kind of turned over my real estate team to him. I do the networking and a lot of the marketing and stuff still, but he's really the machine behind it, selling all the homes now.
Yep.
And we do a lot of investment properties all over the country. And so we work with investors left and right. And he's so good. All I have to do is get somebody in front of him, and I know they're going to get an A+ experience.
Which is what it's all about.
So yeah, and then my assistant Chris, for all these years, he was my right hand. I mean, he's so good. He never missed a thing. Like, so many people have the wrong hire, so they spend all day worrying about things they've given to somebody else to do. Mm-hmm. And I knew if I gave him something to do, it was done. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to follow up with it. I never had to worry where my money was. I didn't have to worry about the client being taken care of. They got an A+ experience, and they'd always say the same thing. Like, we just love Chris. He's so nice. I mean, if it got to me, if I had to step in, shit was going south. You know what I mean? Like, I was the guy you called when you needed to save a deal or whatever. Otherwise, I was just out getting more business. You
know what I love about what you just said, though? And I think it's important. You didn't say, if I get someone in front of him, we sold the deal. You said they're going to get a great experience. And I don't know if you realize that consciously or subconsciously, but that is the difference between, because I was really good in sales as well.
Yeah.
And everyone would ask me, how are you so good in sales? It's because I created an experience and I didn't worry about selling.
Yeah, I mean, you know this. If you do your job and you take care of people, you don't ever have to worry about the money. You just don't.
Number 3, how to never get in trouble in real estate. So right now in today's economy, today's climate, you still buying homes?
So here's the number 1 thing with real estate. So I'll just give the rules real quick, because this is...
Teach me.
Yeah, this is the way you never get in trouble in real estate, no matter what. Is as long as it has... If you buy the right property, sure. And that's the answer for any market. But if you buy the wrong property, no. And just to give you a quick little thing, I wrote a real estate book. I interviewed the top 100 millennial real estate agents across the country. It's called The Next Wave of Influence in Real Estate. I wrote it about 4 or 5 years ago.
It's a bestseller.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's not my best work, but it's like, it had a couple really cool things for new agents that you could learn by studying successful people. Yeah. One of the questions I asked them was, what does your own real estate investment portfolio look like? And 50 of the 100 agents didn't even own a real estate property. Most realtors don't truly know these rules of investing, and that's where people get in trouble, because their cousin or uncle, they're trying to go to the same realtor. But anyway, so long story short, the formula is basically this to make sure that you buy correctly. Number 1, and you can't violate this rule no matter what, is the property has to cash flow no matter what. And for every $100,000 you spend, it should cash flow $100. That's conservative. That's doable. That's
every $100,000 it should cash flow $100.
$100,000 that it cost, it should cash flow at least $100. That's like pretty damn easy to get.
So a $300,000 house, if I don't pull $300 into my pocket,
as a minimum, that should be your cash flow. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
After everything.
Yes. And that's the number 1 principle that you never violate.
Does that include insurance, property tax?
That's all in.
Everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. After your PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, you want to make sure it cash flows $300 a month. So think of it this way. So I'll give you a quick example. When the real estate market in 2007-8, I bought a property. I paid $285 for it.
Okay.
I got first for 80% of the loan and a second for 20% of the loan. You could do that back then. Nothing down, right?
I did one of those too.
Exactly.
We called them liar loans, I think.
Yeah. So I was
stated income.
Yep. So I was at $285. Market went up to $350. I hung on to it. Well, the market ended up tanking down to, by the way, I was upside down. I was renting it for $1,500 a month. I think my payment was like $2,300 a month. So I'm losing $800 a month.
Okay.
I justified it because I knew it was going up at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. I did it wrong. That's why I'm qualified now, because I learned the hard way. This is firsthand experience. And what happened was when the market started to tank, I couldn't afford it anymore. I'm upside down $800 a month. So it dropped the value of it all the way to $215. That's where I had to sell it because I had to get rid of it. I couldn't afford the $800 a month anymore. The bank knew I was making a lot of money because I was still selling a lot of homes. I just didn't have any money because I had bad decisions. And so they made me keep the loan, 0% interest. So every month the payment would go towards full principal. But I got stuck with 2 houses doing this for $140,000, $150,000.
Was it a short sale?
It was a short sale, but not really because I had to keep the loan. They wouldn't let me do on a short sale because they knew I was making $300,000-$400,000 a year still.
Yeah.
So I literally got stuck with 2 house payments with no houses. Like that's when you know you've really screwed up.
Yes.
And so, but the point of that is that house 2.5 years ago sold for $650,000. If it had the cash flow and I could have held on to it, because if it cash flows even $100 or even if you're breaking even, hell, then I can keep that through the downturn. You're paying down your principal. So there's $400, $500, $600 a month. You're saving on taxes, which you can save a ton on if you know what you're doing. And appreciation eventually started coming back like crazy after it bottomed out in 2011. So if I'd have hung on to that, if I could have hung on to it, I would have ended up making several $100,000 10 years later. Well, Tyler, my partner at the same time, bought a house in another city for $185. It dropped to $130. He was cash flowing $100 a month. That's it. Okay. But because that house payment was covering itself, when it dropped to $130, he just kept his renter in, paid down his principal. Eventually, the house paid itself off. He sold it that 2.5 years ago for $400,000. So the only difference between what I did and what Tyler did is that cash flow that he had to be able to weather the storm. So right now, I own over 30 real estate properties, all single-family homes. I don't have to sell any of them. Every single one of them is cash flowing me. Every single one of them I'm paying down principal. I'm getting huge tax breaks. It's perfect. And so I'll just wait till the market comes back up and then I'll sell it. So am I buying right now? Yes. I flip homes. I do all that stuff. If you have the right property right now, hell yeah, buy it. But if it's an investment, you just don't want to violate that
rule. Number 1.
Yeah, cash.
Is there a second rule or is it just rule number 1?
I have a lot of other little rules. Like number 2 is if the market were to tank tomorrow and you're still glad you own the home, you have a good property.
Regardless of the value?
Yeah, because if you're glad you still own it, it means you bought it right.
Yep.
It means that you're not upside down. It means that you're making money on it still. So that's kind of like a generic way to look at it.
Sure.
But ask yourself, if you're buying a real estate property and you go, no, this property is going to go down 25% tomorrow. Would you still want to own that property at the place you're getting it? And if the answer is yes, it's a good property.
So how much do you put down on a rental?
20% on everything. So
not more?
No, not usually. I have a few that are paid off just because once you start getting too many loans, you have to you can kind of max out. So
do you play with how much down to make sure you make that certain cash flow?
Yeah. So if you're buying investment properties, and by the way, there's a million ways to invest in real estate. This is just the way that we do it. This is the way that we teach it because it's the simplest and it's the one where you're never going to get in trouble.
5,000 homes. You know a little something about it.
Yeah, this is the safest way to buy real estate. This is like the formula. I wish I'd known this. I'd have made a lot more money. But basically, what you want to make sure is whenever you're buying that property, what was the question again? I'm going on another tangent.
Do you play with how much you put down?
Yeah, you want to put down at least 20% because then you don't have the mortgage insurance. And so it helps your cash flow. If you're not putting that down, you just found a killer deal. But like a lot of people, they do these methods of buying where you're like, you buy it owner occupied, 3% down, then you move every 6 months. And that's a way to do it.
Sure.
And as long as it still cash flows, I'm for it. But in today's market, with affordability rates too high, it just doesn't work.
Thank you for listening to another segment of Lessons Learned. I hope you learned as much as I did from our very special guest, Jimmy Rex. Hey everyone. First, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And if you guys haven't heard about my new book, Relationship Bank Account, click the link in the show notes or search the title on Amazon. This book is packed with all my secrets to success in both relationships and life. Make sure to pick up a copy, and if the book helps you on your journey, let us know by leaving a review. I appreciate all of you and can't wait to see you on the next one.